Hello aspirants, welcome back to our channel Food Tech Online. Hope you all are doing good. So today we'll be starting with the topic that is ISO 22000-2018, which is Food Safety Management System, that is FSMS in short. So basically this ISO 22000-2018, it is an international standard which has been developed by the International Organization for the Standardization, that is ISO. So it specifies the requirement for a food safety management system, that is FSMS, to ensure that the food is safe for the consumption and uh, what means in throughout the food chain, and it is applicable to all the organizations in the food chain, that is from, we can say, farm to fork, and it is regardless of the size and the sectors. And this ISO 22000-2018, it is a combination of the key elements, that is HACCP, that is hazard analysis and critical control point, or PRPs, that is prerequisite programs, ISO 9001 principles, which talks about the quality management. So basically it promotes the risk-based thinking, it is preventive controls, and it continuously tries to improve. And even it helps in meeting the regulatory requirements, enhancing consumers' trust, and enabling the good trade. So let us start with the topic now, starting with what is ISO 22000 first. So ISO 22000-2018 is an internationally recognized food safety management system standards, that is FSMS. So this means that ISO 22000, it is globally accepted in the rule book that will help the companies to manage the safety properly, that ensures food safety production and management throughout the supply chain. Means it helps make sure that the food, it stays safe from the production to the consumption level, means at every stage, say starting from the farming, then to processing, to packaging, to transportation, to storage. These are the basic steps. Now why it is important? So basically it prevents the food contamination, means it will reduce the risk of food which is getting food from getting the harmful substances like the bacteria, chemicals, or the allergens. It will ensure the legal compliances, like it will help companies follow the government rules, food laws, safeties, which will avoid the fines and the shutdowns. It will ensure consumers confidence, that means when a consumer, they will know that the food, it is made under this ISO 22000, that means the trust, means they will trust the brand more, so a trust is there for them. Next, helps in international trade. So many companies, they require this ISO 22000 certifications for the, uh, we can say, for import the food products. So it will make this global trading easier. Now history of ISO 22000. 2005, first introduced as a global food safety standard. Means in 2005 this ISO 22000, it was launched to create a universal standard for the food safety. Means it helped food businesses worldwide follow the same basic rules, like to keep the food safe. Then in 2018 it updated to align with Annex SL integrating with ISO 9001 and 14001. So in 2018, what happened? It was revised and improved. And in 2005, it was launched. So this update, it made it compatible with other ISO standards like this ISO 9001. So ISO 9001, we know that it is for quality management, whereas 14001, it is for environmental management. So this makes it easier for companies to manage the food safety, quality and the environment together. Talking about the key principles of ISO 22000. So first one, that is customer focus. So in customer focus, the main goal is to provide the safe food that meets customers' need and their expectations. Second, that is leadership. Leadership means the top management that should guide the organizations, set clear goals. They will create a strong food safety cultures. Engagement of people. So engagement of people, like everyone in the organization, uh, from workers to the managers, they should be involved and understand their role in the food safety. Process approach. So like work should be managed as a set of connected activities like the processings to make sure that everything runs smoothly, safely, and according to the guidelines rule book. Continuous improvement means always they look for ways to improve the food safety. Means new update improvements. They should learn from mistakes and make things better over time. Evidence based decision making. Decisions like should be made based on the data's facts and the proper analysis, like not just guesses or assumptions. Solid reasons should be there. Seventh, like relationship managements, like good relationships should be there with the suppliers, with the customers and other partners who all are involved in this chain, to help ensure that a safe and a reliable in a reliable food chain. Now we'll discuss one by one all of these principles in deep. So first one, that is customer focus. So it is for ensuring food safety for consumers. So as discussed, means the first priority is to make sure that the food is safe to eat and does not cause any harm to the consumers. Second one, that is meeting legal and regulatory food safety requirements. Like the company, they must follow all the laws, rules related to food safety sets by the government. Enhancing customer satisfactions and trust, like when food is safe, they are reliable, means it will build a trust and satisfactions among the consumers. And addressing customer complaints and feedback proactively, like if consumers and the customers, they have complaints, any suggestions regarding any product, the company, they should listen, they should respond to it quickly and they should update it based on the feedbacks. Second principle is talking about the leadership quality. So it says that the top management commitment to food safety, like the senior leaders, like for example owners or the managers, they must take the safety seriously and should lead by an example. Second is creating a food safety culture in the organization. Like everyone in the company, they should understand the importance of the food. They should work together to follow these practices, activities, setting clear objectives and policies for FSMS. Like the company, they must have clear goals and rules for how food safety is managed. So FSMS, it stands for Food Safety and Management Systems. Ensuring adequate resources for food safety implementation, like the management, they should provide enough staffs, there should be enough trainings, tools and monies to make sure that the food safety plan, it works well, it goes smoothly. Coming to the third principle, that is engagement of people. So training employees on food safety practices means the staffs, whoever are working under, should be taught how to handle food safely and follow the hygiene rules properly. Hygiene is more important this FSMS. Now encouraging teamwork and communications, like employees, they must work together as a team and they should share the important informations openly to maintain this food safety. Recognizing and rewarding employees' contributions, like workers who follow food safety rules well, should be appreciated. They should be rewarded with some um, certificates and all to keep them motivated. Empowering employees to report hazards and take preventive actions. Like employees should be feel free to report any food safety risks and should take quick actions to avoid other such problems. Now, fourth principle, it talks about the process approach. In it, it talks about managing food safety as an interconnected systems. Like we should treat all the steps in the food chains, starting from cleaning to processing to packaging, etc. So these as a linked part of one big system. It should not be as a separate tasks. Next, ensuring smooth workflow from raw materials to finished products. Like making sure that food, it moves smoothly from starting to the finish without any confusions or delays, which will ensure food safety at each stage. Third one, that is preventing contamination and cross contact. So like organize the process to avoid mixings like allergens or the harmful substances with the clean food. Next, improving efficiency and consistency in the food safety, like following the same safe process every time. Means consistency should be there, which will save the time, it will reduce the mistakes, and it will keep the quality quite stable and same. Fifth principle talks about the continuous improvement. First one, that is regular audits should be conducted, inspections should be there to identify the gaps. Like we should check the food safety system frequently to find out the mistakes or the weak areas. Implementing corrective and preventive actions. Like we should fix the problems immediately. Fixing problem immediately is corrective actions. And preventive, like take steps to avoid them in the futures. These are the preventive actions like avoiding. Updating FSMS with new regulations and industry trends, like keeping the food safety management systems up to date with the latest laws, rules, and the best practices. Monitoring performance metrics and enhance the efficiency, like the tracking the key numbers, like the number of errors or the time it has been taken to find the ways to save time, to reduce its wastes, and so that they can perform more well. Okay, for continuous improvement, there is a cycle, that is PDCA cycle. This is an important and a famous cycle, that is PDCA cycle in ISO 22000. PDCA stands for Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, which will ensure the continuous improvement. First one, that is plan, means we should identify the hazards and define food safety control. Like we should identify possible food hazards like say bacteria, allergens, any contaminants. Then we should set up control measures to prevent them. And say for example, we should plan to keep meat at a safe temperature during the transport. This is a planning. Do means we should take actions. So planning means think and prepare. We are thinking and preparing. Do means implement safety controls and training, means we should take actions. Like we should put out the safety plans into practice. We should train the staff to follow food safety rules correctly. Like we should teach workers to how to store the raw materials and the cooked foods safely, so that there we should so that this cross contamination should be avoided. Next, check means monitor effectiveness and conduct audits. Check basically means we can say reviewing and monitoring. Okay, so in this means we'll see that if the food safety measures are working properly or not. Then we'll perform inspections, audits to check it. For example, checking the temperature of the fridge, or audits like we'll check the hygiene practices. Act. Act means improve. Like taking corrective actions, improve the processes. Like if something is going wrong, we should correct it immediately. If any changes are needed, we should make changes so that it is to prevent it from happening again and again. Like if audits, in audits, if we'll find the food is exposed to too long outside, so we'll update it. We'll change the storage time or the temperature into a to a safe limit. So basically, this cycle is like repeating continuously, which will help the food safety to get better and better over time. Now, sixth principle, it talks about the evidences which are based on decision making. So first one, that is, it talks about using data and scientific analysis for food safety decisions, like making food safety choices which are based on the researches and the datas, not on the guesses or assumptions. Next, conducting risk assessments which are based on real-time data, like checking the risks using the latest data to stay updated and safe. Implementing fact-driven policies to minimize hazards, like using the proven facts to create the rules which can reduce the dangers prior, and utilizing traceability and recall systems for quick actions, like tracking and recalling it as fast. So if there is any problem, so this recall and traceability can work over there. The seventh principle, it talks about the relationship management, uh, that is building strong partnership with the suppliers and the stakeholders, like working closely with those who provides the food, or they supply the foods, it means those are involved in the food supply chain. Number two, that is ensuring supplier compliances with food safety standards, like making sure that the suppliers, they should follow the safety norms, rules, standards. Engaging with regulators and certification bodies, like talks and cooperates with the officials, certifying agencies, creating a transparent food supply chain, keeping everything open, clear from farm to the fork. So it should be transparent. Okay, before talking about the key components of ISO 22000, let us first revise what are the seven principles we read about this ISO 22000-2018 in short. First one was customer focus, where we understand meet customers' food safety requirement. Second, we read about the leadership, that is top management, which drives the commitments and the directions for the food safety. Third, we read about the engagement of peoples, like involving and empowering of the employees at all levels in the food safety practices. Fourth one was the process approach, like managing activities as process that works together efficiently. Fifth, we talked about the continuous improvement, like continuous enhancement of the food safety um, management system, that is FSMS. Sixth, we talked about evidences which are based on decision making, like using data and sciences to guide the food safety decisions. No assumptions, no guesses should be allowed over here. And seventh, we had talked about relationship management, that is building strong relationships with the suppliers, with the customers, with the stakeholders to ensure a safe food supply chain. Now we'll talk about the key components of ISO 22000. So this ISO 22000, it integrates uh, into four parts, that are interactive communications, system management, HACCP principles, and prerequisite programs. So first one, that is interactive communication. Basically, this is internal and external food safety communication. This means that having open and regular communications within the companies, like the employees, departments, and outside, like the parties, like suppliers, customers, authorities. And it basically helps in quickly sharing the food safety issues or the updates to avoid the risks. Second one, that is system management. So system management, that is leadership and organizational commitment. Basically it refers to having strong relationship, uh, strong leadership qualities, and having an organized structure in a place. It will even ensure that everyone knows their role in food safety. uh, they should work together to maintain it. Even it includes planning, reviewing, and improving the food safety systems. Third one, that is HACCP principles. HACCP, we know it stands for hazard analysis and critical control point. So it is actually a scientific system which is used to provide some possibilities about the dangers in the foods, like biological hazards, or we can say chemical hazards are there, like physical hazards are there. So it even also sets control points to prevent, to reduce, or to remove these dangers or hazards before the food it reaches to the consumers. And fourth point, that is prerequisite programs, that is PRPs. So that is hygiene, sanitation, facility maintenance. So these are basically the basic conditions which are needed to maintain a clean and safe food environment. Even it includes good hygienes, proper cleaning facilities, pest controls, maintenance of the equipments and the buildings, and all. So we can say that this ISO 22000, it is a global food safety standard, means it combines different elements to help the organizations keep the food safe at every stage. Now, ISO 22000, it follows a structured approach with key requirements. So first one, that is scope, that is clause 1. Basically it explains that what ISO 22000 it covers, that is starting from ensuring food in which is safe to all the stages. Second one, that is normative reference, that is clause 2. So it is actually the list of other important documents or the standards that must be followed. Third one, that is clause 3, terms and definitions. So this is basically, it explains the keywords which are used in the standards to avoid the confusions. Fourth clause, that is context of the organization. Basically, it understands the company's internal as well as the external environment and what affects the food safety. Leadership, that is clause 5. It is actually the top management which must lead by examples, and they must take the responsibilities for the food safety. Planning, clause 6, that is, so basically it is setting of the goals, actions to deal with the risks and the opportunities which are related to the food safety. Clause 7, so it is about the support, that is ensuring the resources, trainings, communications and documentations which are in the places. Clause 8, that is operation, means it covers the actual food safety process, like hazard controls, product handling. Clause 9, that is performance evaluation, so like regularly checking and measuring if the food safety system is working properly, efficiently, effectively or not. Uh, Clause 10, that is improvement, like fixing problems, keeping improving, updating over the systems over time. We'll discuss now all the clauses one by one in deep. So first, that is scope. So it defines the areas covered by the food safety management system, that is FSMS. So basically it ensures food safety from raw material handling to the final consumption. This is important. Like the main purpose of it is to make sure that food stays safe from the time raw materials which are received to the moment people they eat the final product. Now applicable to organizations involved in food chains, including food manufacturers, storage and distribution companies, retailers, restaurants and catering services. Like who it applies to, basically they are applied to all the types of the organizations which are involved in the food supply chain. So like the food manufacturers, we know those who produce the food. Storage and distributions, those who store, transport. And retailers, restaurants and caterings, those who sell, they serve the food, all are involved. Clause 2, it talks about the normative references, means they provide references to other food safety standards that support ISO 22000-2018. Basically, this clause, actually it is the list of other important food safety standards that are used along with ISO 22000-2018. Basically, these includes HACCP, that is Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point, which identifies and control the food safety risks. Means it is a system that will find and then it will even control the possible hazards, dangers in the food, and even it will help prevent the unsafe food from reaching to the customers. ISO TS 22002 series, they provides specific requirements for different food sectors. Like these are, we can say, extra rules which are made for different types of food businesses, like farmings, different sectors, farmings or packaging sections, catering sections. Next is Codex Alimentarius. So it is an international guidelines for food safety and hygiene. So basically, international guidelines, like they are created by experts for the food safety and hygienes. These are used worldwide to protect the consumer's health and even to ensure the fair food trade practices. Clause 3, it talks about the terms and the definitions. So it is a standardized definitions to ensure consistent interpretations and applications of FSMS. Like this part, basically it gives the clear, transparent meaning of important food safety terms. Like it ensures that everyone understand and they apply the same rule in the same manner. So few important terms included in this, that is food safety hazards. Hazards can be biological, chemical, physical contaminations. Basically it refers to anything which is harmful. It can be bacteria or any sharp objects that can contaminate the food. Critical control points, that is CCP, a key step where food hazards must be controlled, like a specific step in the food process where means it must control a risk to keep the food safe. Traceability means it's the ability to track the food products from the production to the sale level, like the ability to track the food items from the beginning, that is from production level to all the way, means to the end, that is sales or the consumption level. Now clause 4, it talks about the context of the organization. Basically it identifies internal and external factors affecting the food safety. Like this clause, basically it helps the company to understand everything that can affect the food safety, internal as well as external factors. Internal external factors, like looking at the company's cultures, process, market trends, laws, etc. It recognizes stakeholders' expectations, that is customers, regulators and the suppliers. Like they consider what important people, about the important people like the customers, regulators, suppliers expect in the term of their food safety. So it defines FSMS scope and essential processes, that is legal and regulatory requirements, like they follows food safety laws, rules, industry based practices for food safety, like uses proven methods which are used by the top food companies, and internal company capabilities and Risks, like they will check what the company can do well and what risks need to be managed. Now, clause 5, that is leadership quality. Top management must actively support the food safety management system, that is FSMS. By basically top management over here, it means the company's leader who must take an active role in making sure that the food safety is his or her top priority. So they must support FSMS by setting a food safety policy aligned with the business objective, means they'll create clear food safety rules that also match the company's goal. Second, that is assigning roles, responsibilities for FSMS implementations. Like they'll make sure that everyone who are working under them knows what they need to do to keep the food safe. Promoting a culture of food safety awareness among the employees, like encouraging training staffs to always think about and follow the food safety practices. Clause 6 is about planning. That means it identifies risks and opportunities to ensure food safety. Um, Basically, this clause it focuses on planning ahead to prevent problems and make the food safety better over time. Basically, the company they should look for things that would go wrong. That means risks, and even things that could help, means like the opportunities to improve the food safety. So they set measurable food safety objectives which are aligned with the regulatory and the business needs. Means they will set clear goals about which should be set for the food safety. And now these goals must follow legal rules and also support the business goals. Secondly, that is they develop plans for continuous improvements of the food safety management system, FSMS. Means they'll create step-by-step plans to keep making the FSMS better and more effective over the time. Means continuous improvement should be there. Talking about the seventh clause of FSMS, that is support. So it ensures the availability of necessary resources for FSMS. So basically, it lists out what are required to make the FSMS work properly. So it includes personal competence, training employees on the food safety practices. Like employees, they must be trained to handle the food safety uh, practices. Infrastructures and facilities, safe food handling environments. Like the workplace must have the safe spaces for food handling purposes. Documentation control, proper record keeping for compliance. Like proper records must be kept to follow the rules to prove the compliances. Now the eighth clause, which is operation, so it ensures food safety throughout the food production process. So basically, it lists the methods to keep the food safe from start to finish. So it includes operational control, means managing hazards at every stage, like managing risks like bacteria or chemicals at every step of making food. HACCPs and PRPs, like using hazard analysis prerequisite programs to prevent the contaminations, like using the science-based food safety plans, that is HACCP, and the basic hygiene rules, means the PRPs. Science. means to stop these contamination. Third one, that is traceability and recall system. So tracking the food products and managing withdrawals if needed, like tracking where the food comes from and quickly removing the unsafe products if needed. Means in this cross contamination should also be uh, avoided. So each these points practices, they keep the food safe during the operations. Ninth clause, that is performance evaluation. It monitors and evaluates the effectiveness of FSMS. So basically, it explains how the system, it checks if the food safety measures are working properly. So first, through the internal audits, like checking the compliances with the food safety policies, like regular inspections to ensure that all the food safety rules are being followed or not. Then customers' feedbacks, satisfaction analysis, like ensuring food safety meets expectations, like listening to the customers to confirm the food safety needs to so that their needs and expectations are met. And management reviews, like improving FSMS based on data and audits, like leaders should analyze the audits results and should look into the feedbacks to make this FSMS more better. 10th clause, that is, it is about the improvement. So it identifies and corrects the non-conformities in the food safety practices. So basically, uh, it finds and fixes any actions or the processes that don't meet safety standards, and it continuously enhances FSMS to reduce the risks and improve the food quality. Means always they will work to make the food safety system more stronger, safer, better by continuous improvements, updates and all. Documents improvements to ensure sustained food safety growth. Like they keep the records of changes to track progresses, and they maintain a long-term safety. So we can say that these clause, it ensures that the problems are fixed. The systems, they keep improving. The changes are recorded for the last food safety. So we just completed all the 10 clause. So let us first revise all the 10 clause. So first, clause 1 to 3 was about the foundation. That was scope, where it defines about what the FSMS covers, like food production, storage and all. The second was about normative references. That means it lists out official standards, rules of FSMS which follows. And the third was terms and definitions, means it will explain the keywords which are used in the documents. Clause 4, it talked about the context, means it identifies the internal, external factors like laws, risks, which is affecting the food safety. Clause 5, we talked about the leadership quality, that is top management, which must commit to food safety, assign roles, and they must set policies. Clause 6 was about planning, means addresses which risks, like example contamination, which and they must set food safety objectives according to that. Clause 7 was support, means it will ensure the resources like the trained staffs, facilities, documents which are available. Clause 8 was operation, that means it controls the hazards, that is HACCP, hygienes like PRPs, and tracks food like traceability. Clause 9, it talked about the performance evaluation, means it checks FSMS effectiveness via audit, customer feedbacks, reviews and all. Clause 10, it means improvement, that is, it fixes issues, update the process and documents which changes for the better safety of the food product. So let us discuss the steps to implement ISO 22000. First, conduct a gap analysis, assess current food safety practices. Like comparing your current food safety practices with ISO 22000 requirements to find out the missings or the weak areas. Develop documentations like policies, procedures, records, like create written policies, step-by-step procedures, and record-keeping systems to meet the ISO standards. Third one, that is employee training, that educate the staff on the food safety practices. Like teach the staff about food safety rules, hygienes, their role in the systems and all. Implement HACCP and PRPs like identifying critical control points, set up science-based standards, controls like HACCP, scientific, basic hygienic rules like PRPs to prevent the contamination. Internal audits, identify areas for improvement, like regularly check our own systems for mistakes or gaps before the official audits. And certification audits, like that is third party audit for certification. So a third party inspector, it verifies if our system meets ISO 22000 standards and grants the certification. So basically these follow these steps to build a food safety systems, train our team, or pass the ISO 22000 certification audits. Now integration with other standards. So this ISO 22000, it is compatible with several other management systems. We know basically that it shows how ISO 22000, that is food safety, it works alongside with other management systems, like it's designed to fit with other ISO standards without any conflicts. So first one, that is ISO 9001, that is quality management system, which says it actually ensures the food products consistency. Like it will combine with the food safety, that is ISO 22000, with quality control, that is ISO 9001, for safe and reliable products. ISO 14001, that is environmental management system. So basically it reduces the environmental impact. So it adds eco-friendly practices, example say waste reductions, to the food safety efforts. And FSSC 22000, that is food safety system certification, it is actually a GFC, GFSI, it should be GFSI recognized food safety certification. So basically this FSSC 2000, it builds on ISO 22000 but is stricter and globally accepted by the, say for example, by the retailers. So basically we can say over here that ISO 9001 is for the quality, ISO 14001 is for sustainability, and FSSC 2000 is for stronger food safety recognition. Now what are the benefits of ISO 22000 certification? For the food business, what are the benefits? It will ensure the food safety compliances, means it will meet the legal and industry requirements, which will avoid the fines or the shutdowns. It will improve the brand trust and customers satisfaction. That means customers, they prefer brand with certified safety standards. It reduces risks and operation costs, like fewer recalls, lawsuits, or wasted products due to the Safety failures. And for customers, what consumers, what are the benefits of this ISO 22000 certification? First, that is increased confidence in food quality. That means they will get a trust that food is safe to eat and consistently of high quality. Second, that is better traceability and transparency. That means they will know where the food comes from and how it has been handled, that is from farm to the table tracking. Third, that is protection from foodborne illnesses, like fewer outbreaks because hazards they are being controlled. Now there are few challenges in ISO 22000 implementation. First is lack of employee training. So if there will be lack of the trainings in employee, then the staff they may not understand the food safety protocols. It may lead to errors. High cost of implementation. So expenses for audits will be there, documentations and other upgrades which can be steep. So next is complexity in hazard control, like identifying, managing all the food safety risks, like say contaminants, is technically demanding. So solution for all these is to conduct a regular training and awareness programs, like they can fix the training gaps with the workshops, e-learnings, or clear SOPs. uh, they can use digital record keeping for efficiencies, so no cost for documentation, pen, papers and all. So it will cut the costs and errors with the software for audits, traceabilities, reports. Implement a structured food safety plan, like it will simplify hazard controls with step by step HACCPs and PRP plans. So basically, if there's an untrained staff, we can train them continuously. Expenses are there, we can go with the digital. Or overwhelming risks are there, then we can follow a clear plan. So in short, we can say that training plus digitalization plus systemizing the work plan can make this ISO 22000 adoption smoother. So we have covered ISO 22000's principles, clause, its limitations, benefits of certifications, and the solutions to the limitations. Hope you found the video helpful. So till then, thank you and enjoy learning.